I've been waking up early for 25 years now, and it's been one of the most life-changing habits that I've ever adopted. From making the varsity swim team in high school to growing a successful YouTube channel of over 300,000 subscribers at age 40, getting up early has contributed in a major way to my happiness and success throughout all stages of my life. But lately I've gotten into a slump where I find myself dreading the alarm clock, sleeping in late, and falling into morning routines that are dragging me down instead of lifting me up. So today I wanted to share my top 10 tips for hitting the reset button on your morning routine so that you and I can wake up earlier without feeling miserable or tired. Tip number 1 is to set your intentions for waking up early. As it turns out, there is some truth to that old adage, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Because studies have found that people who wake up earlier tend to sleep and eat better, earn more money each year, and be happier than people who sleep in late. So ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish by waking up earlier? It could be that you want to wake up earlier so that you can squeeze in a good workout before your kids wake up for school. Or maybe you want to learn a new language or a skill, but between your day job and family life, mornings are the only free time that you have to study or practice. Setting intentions will help you tether your actions to your purpose. So one of the keys to becoming a morning person is to get crystal clear on your why for waking up early. When you first begin waking up early, you might find yourself feeling tired and groggy, and it's not always easy to think clearly about the things that you need to do, let alone get your body moving to do it. So you can make waking up in the morning easier by prepping as much as possible the night before. Things like eating an earlier dinner so your body has enough time to digest, or setting your workout clothes at night so you can get changed and start exercising right away. In fact, one of the best things you can do to make waking up easier is to go to bed earlier as well, which also happens to be number 3 on this list. You could do this cold turkey and shift your sleep and wake up times forward by 1 hour all at once, or you could try to be more gentle about it and shift your sleep schedule in smaller increments where you're going to bed 10 minutes earlier and waking up 10 minutes earlier than usual each day. And repeat that for 6 days, after which you'll have successfully shifted your schedule a full hour. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, the average adult needs 7 or more hours of sleep per night, but over 1/3 of adults in the USA are not getting that much sleep. So make sure to take that into consideration when you're trying to figure out what your ideal bedtime and wake-up times are going forward. Once you find your ideal bedtime, it's important to stick to the habit of consistently going to bed at that time every night, no matter how bad you want to binge watch your favorite show on Netflix. The 4th tip on this list is to use your alarm as a motivation tool. I don't struggle with this so much anymore after decades of experience waking up early, but I know that when I first started waking up early, it felt really hard for me to get up out of bed and really easy to just hit the snooze button and go back to sleep. So one trick my swim coach taught me was to put my alarm clock farther away from my bed so that if I wanted to turn it off, that meant I had to get up and go across the room to hit the button. Now, this might not work for those of you who sleep next to someone else like I do. My husband is a light sleeper and I don't want to disturb his sleep, but I still need to set an alarm clock to wake up at the right time. So I make sure to set my alarm to vibrate only and keep that on my nightstand next to me. And over time, I've trained my body to wake up instantly at that gentle vibration so that I can turn the alarm off quickly and get up without disturbing him. Tip number 5 is to harness the power of light. Depending on where you live and what season it is, it's not always easy to get the sun to cooperate with your sleep schedule. When I was a kid, it was always hard for me to get to sleep in the summer because it didn't get dark until well after 10 p.m. and I didn't have curtains on my windows. And when I was a teenager trying to wake up for my 5 a.m. morning swim practices, it was always tough because the winter sun wasn't even up that early. But now that I'm older and I know the importance of light when it comes to sleep, I try to keep my home as dark as possible when it's time to go to bed. That includes things like having thick or even blackout curtains in our bedrooms to keep out as much light as possible. And on the flip side, when I wake up early, I try to expose myself to as much light as possible. If the sun isn't up yet, that means turning on the lamp. And when the sun does rise, I will open the windows to let the light shine in. Also, if you have a chipmunk-sized bladder like I do and you have to get up in the middle of the night to pee, do not turn on the light if you can avoid it. We keep some cute night lights in the upstairs hallway for this very reason, so that if any of us need to get up to use the bathroom, we have enough light to see, but not so much that it disturbs our sleep. Speaking of light, tip number 6 is to stop using screens well before it's time to go to bed. Did you know that too much artificial light, especially the blue light given off by screens and devices, can make it harder for you to go to sleep? That's because blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, which stops it from releasing a sleep hormone called melatonin, which is your body's natural way of winding down for bedtime. So sleep experts recommend for us to stop screen-related activities at least 1 hour before bedtime so that our brains have time to calm down and signal to our bodies that it's time to sleep. Tip 7 is to create a morning routine that fits your lifestyle and goals. People have been talking about the importance of routine for thousands of years. Even as far back as 2,000 years ago, the Greek philosopher Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit." My morning routine changes and adapts depending on the season and what's important to me at that time. Here's what my morning routine looks like right now. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. and turn off my alarm clock, after which I get up quietly and go downstairs without disturbing my husband and kids. Then I turn on the lamp and change into the warmer clothes that I set out the night before. Then I do 10 minutes of meditation, followed by 10 minutes of affirmations, after which I do 10 minutes of gentle exercises. Then I head to the kitchen to grab a full glass of water and grab my AirPods while I'm there so that I can sit down on the couch to listen to an audiobook for 10 minutes. I started re-listening to the Miracle Morning audiobook, which I highly recommend if you're looking for morning routine tips. I will make sure to link the audiobook as well as a free 30-day trial of Audible for you down in the description box below in case you're interested in checking it out. Now, I want to admit that I don't follow the Miracle Morning routine exactly, especially the journaling part. I didn't really vibe with that. But I picked up a lot of great tips in there, and it did help me get motivated to get out of this morning routine slump that I've been in recently. And then after I finish with all of that, I try to get a little bit of work done, whether that's answering emails, writing YouTube video scripts, or writing to-do lists for the rest of the day. Also, I just want to point out that sometimes what you subtract from your morning routine is just as important as what you add to it. In my case, I had gotten into a bad habit of getting up early, but then just lying on the couch and mindlessly doom scrolling on Instagram until the rest of my family woke up. Not only was this unproductive, but it also put me in a negative mindset for the rest of the day. So I banished all social media from my morning routine and immediately noted a positive difference in my mood and anxiety levels throughout the day. The 8th tip that I have for you is to drink a big glass of water first thing in the morning. I know I mentioned that in the previous step, but I just want to reiterate how important this is. Experts say that between breathing and sweating out the body's moisture, you can lose up to 2 pounds of water in your sleep. So not only is drinking water important for replenishing the essential hydration that your body needs to function well, but a cold glass of water can also help jolt your body awake in the morning. Number 9, move your body. Doing exercise in the morning is also a good way to wake your body up and start your day off on the right foot. According to the CDC, only 28% of Americans are getting enough exercise, which means that over 70% of us are not. And as someone who works from home and likes taking things easy, it's all too simple for me to turn into a couch potato. But I find that when I do some light exercise in the morning, not only do I feel better the rest of the day, but it also helps me sleep better at night. I've been doing a 2,500-year-old exercise routine every morning for almost a year now, and I'll make sure to link to that video up here in the top right-hand corner, as well as down in the description box below if you're interested in finding out more about that. The last tip I have for you is a little bit unorthodox, and that is to phone in a friend, aka to find an accountability partner. Remember when I mentioned those morning swim practices that I had back in high school? Well, like I said, I hated waking up early back then, so in the beginning, I skipped multiple practices each week. But then one day, my swim coach sat us all down and he pulled out this chart and he called each of us out by name and he started rattling off how many morning swim practices each of us had missed in total at that point. And I was horrified and embarrassed to find out that I had missed 21 morning swim practices, which was the most of my teammates by far. The shame and embarrassment I felt back then turned into powerful motivation for me, and I'm happy to say that I didn't miss a single morning practice after that. And I think that on top of my coach holding me accountable, having friends and teammates that were there to cheer me on helped a lot. As the famous quote goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to wake up early, why not connect with someone else who also wants or does the same thing? Last month, I decided to challenge myself to wake up at 5 a.m. for 30 days, and I was looking for an accountability partner, but my husband certainly had no interest in waking up that early. I knew that there was only one person who was crazy enough to do a challenge like this with me. So who did I call?
Oh, was it the Ghostbusters?
What? No, it wasn't the Ghostbusters. It was you, silly.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
I decided to call my friend Ariel from That Awkward Mom to do the 30-day Wake Up at 5 a.m. challenge with me. And if you want to find out more about her experience with waking up early for 30 days and how it changed her life, make sure to go check out her video that I've linked over here, or I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.